Off you go. Right, Semen del Piso here, back once again with another video. What are we talking about today, really? I don't know, I just did leg day earlier today. It was fun. I came all the way from Queens, which is where I work now. I probably did like 6 sets of the barbell squats, heavy, 8 to 10 reps each, 2 to 3 plates each, right? What I did in the gym is neither here or there. What's more important is that on the way back home, I had like this thought, as I always do, right, on this practice of semen retention, saving my energy, saving my seed, and trying to find the meaning of all things in every single moment. And I realized that there's a lot of broken souls running this reality. Seriously, think about it. We're not gonna just have some random ad hominem attacks on the individuals that sort of pull their personalities from the limited pool of the available personalities that that people draw from, that are just available in this life, which in some way is some form of ad hominem attack, right? It's a direct attack on their personality or their depth of personality or the lack of it, right? I'm not making fun of them, I swear. Let's talk about it, right? So we have a lot of people that have had very, very traumatic experiences in their lives, a lot of traumatic, historic events that they went through. And a lot of these guys haven't done the proper work to heal these things, right? These scars that they have, these emotional scars. And as a result, they get into positions of power, such as, to the grand title of a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or some other blue chip company, to, something a little lowly, like maybe working in the public sector, and they're some manager for a group of individuals. And they just had situations that happened to them in their past that they just sort of couldn't triumph over in the correct objective manner, and then they sort of indirectly or directly and consciously push that trauma onto everyone else. And people that have not been through that sort of journey, or not, that's not really a journey, but that situation, are trying their best to try to process all of these negative things that their managers or their superiors are treating them with. Here, insert Semen del Piso about to come in, swoop in and say the best way to heal this is semen retention, right? But honestly, that is the truth. If you honestly understand, first of all, to deal with issues like that, unresolved trauma, first of all, you need to understand that there's a trauma in place, that it does exist. Yes, I am somewhat sensitive or angry towards a group of individuals or a situation that would occur, and I react towards it like the same way all the time. Yes, I do understand that. Once people are acknowledging that, then comes the ways of how to fix that sort of issue. Of course, maybe if someone has passed that first step of identifying the problem, right, the trauma, maybe they don't know necessarily how to deal with that issue, right? They don't necessarily know how to fix themselves, how to heal themselves. But I'm a big proponent of the moment an issue comes up in your space or something happens in your area, right? Within your body, within your mind. Even if you don't necessarily have the proper steps on how to fix that, right? On how to deal with that issue, how to tackle that issue, your mind will find ways. Your subconscious will find ways to heal that. Seriously, to be honest, I mean, I share like the same story as most individuals, most minorities in this place. I grew up without a dad, present in the household. I was misbehaved. They almost threw me in special ed because I was really badly behaved. I got kicked out of 3 private schools. I was doing well, ironically, in those schools that I got kicked out of because I had bad behavior. But I was still like causing a lot of trouble everywhere I went. I went deep. I did a couple of soul searching. I looked inside, a little introspective look, and found out the issues within myself. Of course, I did that way, way earlier before I even got on this practice or even figure out the practice of semen retention. But then once I got on this practice, of course, I realized that there were a whole under that surface. Maybe it was caused by the lack of the father in the household. I don't know, whatever it may be. But I understood that there were many other layers of just unresolved issues. I used to have problems in crowds. I used to have problems talking to women like this. I used to have problems talking to people like this. As I stayed on semen retention, as I sort of honed my energy, I figured out how to deal with these things. And I went through it. I ascended. Not saying I'm perfect now as I sit here before you in the darkness of night, right? But I am definitely a much better off person than I was a while ago, and I definitely attribute this to semen retention. And if I know for sure, if I wasn't on the practice, yeah, you would not see this very sort of enlightened individual sitting before you, right? That is able to give you a whole bunch of advice. I always say semen retention, like it's like some sort of heaven-sent panacea, right? The enigmatic elixir. You go on this practice, your problems will be solved. But I'm telling you that with unresolved issues, or sort of dealing with the broken souls that sort of run this place, that have unresolved issues, there's nothing that you can do unless you are some sort of omega level mutant, right? Like Charles Xavier or Magneto or another one of them characters, the fictional characters. You cannot mind control individuals and force them to deal with their trauma. You will have to let them go through their own journeys and their own adventures, and then have them figure it out. It takes some time. It's gonna take a lot of practice for them, but you just let them go through it, and then they go through it, they solve it. If they don't, they don't. What you can do for yourself is let semen retention work for you. The benefits of semen retention, let that work for you. You will allow yourself to be steeled, right? In addition to amplifying your aura, becoming much more apt for creative works, being much more understanding of your future and your long-term goals. You are also going to form a shield around the very perceived, publicly deemed traumatic events that will be all around you in your space. And you will just smile at it and understand that this is just part of life. This is just a sentiment that a lot of people share in this world that are not necessarily trying to look within to solve themselves or to better themselves. Can't blame them, it's just life. Succinctly put, you have control over yourself. You have control over what you would like to do, what you would want to see for yourself in a future time. Allow yourself to be controlled, allow yourself to be celibate, allow yourself to be on semen retention, and the answers will come naturally. As for the broken souls that lead this world, when there is an amalgam, a group of individuals that have control over themselves, that understand their trauma, that understands their inner issues, their inner turmoils, and seeks to fix it without any sort of logical plan in place, they'll be fixed, and then eventually better decisions for the majority will be made by these said individuals, and the world will change. It starts on a microeconomic level, which is solving the issues within the self, right? And then when groups of these individuals that have solved their problems, right, come together, then governments will change, then businesses will change, corporation politics will change, and eventually the world will change. Pop culture will change, and eventually the world will change. Believe in yourself, believe in the practice, and believe in the future you, right? You have the potential to change. You don't need to know how you're gonna change. Just go on the path, right? Have faith that you will fix yourselves. And with that being said, that is all I have to say to you guys today. If you like that content, like, comment, subscribe, and of course share with some peers. I am always a fan of the individual going through metamorphosis. I have a tattoo of a butterfly on my wrist, not for some sort of licentious sexual reason that a lot of adult film stars would get this thing imprinted on themselves, but rather for the idea of life being a state of perpetual metamorphosis. And metamorphosis is starting from a larvae, right, to whatever comes after a larvae, the caterpillar, to the cocoon, to the butterfly, and consistently going through that cycle as you go through life, as time passes, to consistently better yourself. Be open to objective knowledge, and let that knowledge fuel your want to change yourself, to fix that broken part of you. Don't ever let this place get you down. Broken souls are all around this place, but this is nothing, right? This is nothing if you're on the practice of semen retention, because these things will just bounce off of you like hail, right? On a hazmat suit, something like that. And of course, stay radiant, my friends. I shall see you guys in the next video.